And hello to our listeners and viewers with Facebook and YouTube. And for those who are listening in Spotify, with me today is none other than the legend himself, the longest serving mayor of Baguio City. I think even longest serving congressman, the epitome of, that's what I want to call you, of hard work and public service. None other than our legendary attorney Mauricio Morris Dumogan. How are you, sir?
I am okay. Good day to each and everyone. Lahat po kayo na nanonood sa podcast na ito and to all of you,
Yeah.
aming minamahal kababayan in the city of Baguio. Good afternoon.
Yes. The reason why I want to follow up our first podcast was sabi mo noon na it depends. Are you going to run again? And then you said it depends on the clamor of people. Now, maybe the very first question I want to ask is, kasi parang last minute yung decision niyo. Why?
Yes, tama po yan. Last minute. Kasi nung una, talagang ayaw ni Mrs. Natatakbo tayo. At ikalawa, yung supposed arrangement namin with our team, hindi natupad. At ito nga, yung pamilya nila congressman, they decided na sinala lang.
Oh, yeah.
Then we did try to, I did exerted the effort to unify the third force na kahit wala ako dyan. But I did not succeed. The last day of filing, October 8, lumabas ako to accompany our companion who remain to be separate from the dynasty situation and of course the other party. Umaga ng October 8. Then nung pumunta ako dyan, karating yung mga kasama, sabi nila, Jesus, ang dami yung talagang nagkaklamo na mag-file ka kasi baka anong mangyari. Sabi ko, hindi kasi ayaw ni Mrs. at hindi natupad yung ini-expect natin na arrangement. Sabi ko, then bigyan ko ng priority yung aking family.
Yeah.
Then, nung pumasok sila sa loob, bumalik ako sa aking office. Maraming trabaho eh. As usual. So, I was then working and then all of a sudden, matapos sila na nag-file, dumating sila lahat. Sinundan ako sa aking opisina.
Yung mga team red, ano?
Yeah. Then, nung sumunod sila, pinipilit nila ako na mag-file. Sabi ko naman, sinabi ko na sa inyo na ayaw ni Mrs. at mahirap kung ganun yung sitwasyon at pipilitin mo. So, mahirap. Yung issue ninyo sa sinasabi ng marami na mag-file tayo. Kasi sa tingin ng mga iba, sabi ko, nandyan naman si Apo Gladys na anak ko ng kasal. Nandyan si Pupo na anak ko din ng kasal. Nandyan si kapatid na Nick Aliping na kaibigan din. Sabi ko, ngunit sabi nila, baka talagang kung hindi ka matutuloy, ma-dynasty tayo sa city of Baguio. Yun yung clamor nila. So sabi ko, sorry. We have been discussing on that and then halos 12 o'clock na. Tumawag yung aking anak, si Janice. Sabi niya, punta ako sa SM nandyan sila kina Mrs. na diyan kami daw maglalunch. At sabi ko, alangan naman na iiwanan ko yung maraming kasama ko sa opisina. Lunch time na. So sabi ko, mag-iwan ako ng pag-lunch ninyo. Kasi punta ko sa SM, samahan ko daw sina Mrs. at saka sina Janice to take lunch. Then sabi naman nila, kami ang bahala dito, si Vladimir yung bahala. So I went to SM. Wala pa sigurong 15 minutes. Kasi sabi ni Mrs. at si Janice, yung mga kasama mo, bakit wala sila? Then sabi ko, ito naman alam na isasama ko sila eh. Sabi nila, sinama din namin sila na tinawagan. At anyway, wala pang siguro 15 minutes, dumating lahat sila. And then they took change in telling, of course, my wife, payagan mo na. Dahil kasi ganito, ganyan. Of course, in-explain ng aking asawa yung dahilan na possible, hindi na kasi ako rin, naawa ko ako sa kanya na siya ang nai-stress kung alam mo naman sa politika eh.
Yes.
Ang daming hindi totoo na paninira sa inyo.
Especially now, sir.
Yeah, nai-stress siya. Yun yung number one reason na ayaw na yung sitwasyon na yan. So, sige, sunod-sunod, palit-palit sila na nakikiusap kay Mrs. Ang dami yung sinasabi, meron yung ating mga grupo sa Nardas na nagmi-meeting urging us to convince you na payagan mo na. Nandyan na sila. Then, mga ibang grupo, sabi nila, and then, anyway, to cut this story short, lost more than 1 hour na dito ko change and convincing her. Past 1 o'clock ay sabi ni Mrs. Sige, basta kayo ang bahala dyan. So, nung sinabi ng sige, nakaprepare na yung COC, sabi nila, labas ko itong COC. Sabi ni Ryan, at tingnan mo, auntie, pipirman niya ang kalyan na. Tingnan mo, sabi niya. Sinabi ko na, ngunit basta kayo ang talagang frontliners dyan. Yeah. So, dyan. Bago ko pirmahan yan, text mo din si Apo Aliping. Yes. And then, text din natin si Gladys na magpa-files ako. Dapat yung usapan natin ni ako pa rin, susundin ko pa rin yan. Importante, sana magkaisa kami, parang hindi mangyari ang political dynasty sa City of Baguio. Talagang sa aking konsensya, hindi talagang maganda yung pamilya. Kasi questionably ang check and balance, accountability, kung ganun yung mangyari, yung ating mga kabataan later on, kung pumasok yung political dynasty, talagang hindi maganda.
Paano parang nagiging questionable yung check and balance?
Natural. Kung mag-asawa kayo, paano i-check yung asawa mo, yung ano, well, they can always say, we will do it.
Yes,
Nakita naman natin sa mga ibang ano eh. And this had never happened in the entire history of Baguio. Yeah. So dapat hindi mangyari yan. So nag-text back si Apo Alimig, sabi na, nag-file na ako eh. And later on si Gladys, ganun din, medyo hindi siya papayag. So in short, nag-file kami
the very first to file is Attorney
Aliping. So, last minute na nag-file ng October 8. And then, I tried talking again with the other group. si Apo Kusalan, who was also one of my, ako din yung isang ninong nila, Popo Kusalan. Umuo naman si Popo. In fairness to him, umuo siya. Dapat ganun yung gawin natin. So, yun nga, yung nangyari. Anyway, tapos na, nandyan na. At kayong mga kababayan na tiga Baguio, please, opportunity ninyo na mamili ng sino sa amin ang dapat mag-serve sa ating lungsod, na iiwasan natin naman yung family affairs na mangyari sa ating lungsod. Hindi paninira ito. Kasi talaga namang
you're just
hindi
against
ko maiponsensya.
ganyan na style.
Yes, hindi ko maiponsensya yan. Marami akong nakita na hindi maganda yung pamilya na sila ang namumuno sa isang lugar.
I just have a question, a follow-up question on the dynasty. Kasi I heard the reason of the good congressman. He said that matagal na daw na may dynasty sa Baguio. In a way na meron daw kasing mga councilors that are uncles, parang ganun, relatives, na hindi lang natin napupuna kasi magkaiba yung apelyido. What's your stance?
Hindi totoo yan. Yung una, nung sinabi ko kay Apo Congressman na di ko maikonsensya ang dynasty. Alam mo sagot niya? Well, he can possibly deny this one. Yung sagot niya, wala namang nagbabawal na batas dyan eh. Nakiusap ako kay Chairman Garcia. Pwede. Sabi ko naman,
in fairness, walang nagbabawal.
Maliwanag sa Article 2, Section 26 ng ating saligang batas. Basahin ninyo yan.
Okay.
Maliwanag na sabi niya na hindi pwede ang political dynasty. Yung kulang lang sa ating saligang batas na yan, may dinagdag na in Congress shall pass the law that will define.
And we're still waiting for them.
Ito yung maraming beses na palaging sinusubukan nila na ipasa sa Kongreso. Ngunit hindi maipapasa. Bakit? Halos dynasty lahat ng that's why, ngunit maliwanag sa talagang provision ng ating Constitution. At kahit man lang na ganun, gaya ng sabi ko, imagine the family to be managing yung ating lungsod para bang walang ibang qualified. Ganun eh. At sa kung nangyari yan, ay talagang ang hirap ikurik yan. Kawawa yung ating mga sumusunod na mamumuno at maninilbihan sa ating lungsod kung ganon yung mangyari.
Yun ang kasi talagang parang ito ang literal na toothless na batas. Kaya kasi mayroon din akong ibang naririnig na wala naman kasing definition kung ano yung dynasty, sabi nila. So parang parang nakagawian ng Congress na finding loopholes on the law.
Well, alam mo yan, you can always find thousands reasons to justify what you want to be. Maliwanag, ano ang dynasty? Even without letting Congress define, sa ating pananaw, ano ba ang dynasty? Dynasty ay kung pamilya ang talagang magmamanil sa isang lugar. Hindi ba dynasty yan? Well, of course, they can always say, hindi, ganito. Ngunit tayo, maliwanag yan.
Speaking of Congress, like, so we are already there. You've been working as a legislator for a long time. So, ano pa ba yung parang remaining legislative projects that you want to have for the improvement of Baguio and for the country in general?
Well, That's a good question. Alam mo yung trabaho, wala eh. Hindi man matatapos yan eh. Basta nandito tayo sa mundong ibabaw, meron at meron pa rin yung talagang dapat natin gawin na kung tinan mo sa nakaraan, hindi natin nagawa. But because of the happenings, dapat mong gawin ito. Sa ating lungsod, our city, yung isang number one, if not the number one, na gawin. Sino ang pupunta sa Kongreso? Sabihin natin ito. Yung pagkurekta sa amended city charter ng Baguio.
Does that include April also?
Hindi. Yung, of course, kasali lang dyan. Yung amended city charter ng Baguio. With all due respect sa ating congressman. Well, siguro, ganun yung ginawa niyang naiisip na niya kabuti ng city. Ngunit kung basahin mo, wala eh. Sorry to say na mas maganda pa yung dating city charter kisa amendments na yan. Bakit? Puntahan mo yung page 1 sa amendment. Walang description ng meets and bounds ng City of Baguio. Kasi serious defeat. Imagine, a city charter na wala pang technical description ng meets and bounds. Hindi pa ninira. Ngunit dapat naman eh. Ito. Meron kaming nagawang amendment. Si Manong Bernie Vergara, of course, when he was in Congress, siyang nag-sponsor, but kami ang gumawa sa amendment. At kung tingnan mo yan, nakalagay yung complete technical description ng meets and bounds ng Baguio. Pues yan, na the total land area of Baguio is 57 hectares, 0.4 square kilometers. At yung technical description, nakalagay dyan. Ikalawa, dapat, sa akin importante ito sa marami sa ating kababayan, the City of Baguio, yung disposition and the titling of alienable and disposable public lands na part ng town site reservation. Puntahan mo yung records ng DENR, ang dami pa ang hindi natituluhan sa pangalan ng mga applicants na kahit na may 40 years, more than 40 years na pending application, wala pang titulo. Bakit? Dahil sa town site sales application as a mode of acquiring alienable and disposable public land. At saka, yung reglamento under Commonwealth Act 141 as amended, yung maximum na pwedeng applyan ng isang qualified individual from the alienable and disposable public land as part of the town site of the City of Baguio, 1,000 square meters lang. Ngunit, hindi dapat less than 200. In short, 200 up to 1,000 maximum. At bakit? Tanungin mo, bakit? Hindi pa natapos yung titling itong maraming lupa na covered by TSA applications hanggang pa ngayon. Because yung proseso ng TSA, mandatory ang public bidding. Ikaw pa ang applicant, ikaw ang magbabayad ng publication ng inyong application para mabibid. Ang dami kaya ang ayaw magpapublish ng kanilang application for mandatory bidding kasi natatakot sila eh. Mas lalo kung maganda yung lupa, kung may magbid na iba at ma-outbid ka, anong mangyari sa iyo? Yun. At serious yung consequence to the city of Baguio. Bakit? Unang-una, hindi sila nagbabayad sa real property taxes over the land that they are occupying. Yung binabayaran lang nila ng taxes, yung building and improvements, but not the land. Kasi sa batas, kung hindi awarded or titled yung lupa sa inyong pangalan, hindi ka obligado na magbayad ng buwis. Yun. Problema dyan. Solusyon. Nilagay naman namin sa amended city charter proposal namin na approved by both houses of Congress, lower house and the Senate. Unfortunately, binito ni Noynoy. Nilagay namin dyan na direct, wala na yung TSA, direct award sa actual in or qualified applicant yung lupa. Na yung valuation na pagbabasihan mo or awarded to pay, nandyan lahat. We put it all covering the entire city of Baguio.
What was the reason for the veto?
Hindi nga tama yung veto ngunit wala na yan. Water under the bridge.
Yeah.
Ngunit, ito na, puntahan natin yung amendment na provision ngayon ng city charter. Minintain pa rin yung amendment, yung TSA. So we will not solve yung problema ng alienable and disposable public land titlings na covered by TSA. Yung ngayong problema. That's why priority na gawin natin sa Kongreso yan. Pangatlo, alisin natin yung nilagay na provision sa amended city charter na yung approved ordinance ng city isusubmit mo sa provincial board ng Benguet. Hindi naman tayo component city.
Yeah.
Tayo is highly urbanized, chartered city, independent from Benguet.
For the clarification, para sa mga ano yung pagkakaiba ng chartered city at component city?
Yung component city, hindi independent yan. Is under the province. That's why lahat ng mga resolution, ordinansa ng component city dapat i-approve muna ng provincial board bago ma-implement yan. Chartered city, independent yan from the province where it is located. It has its own city charter. Dito sa amendment, nakalagay nga sa ibang section, sabi na dyan, the city shall remain to be highly urbanized chartered city. Ngunit bakit nailagay yung provision na isusubmital mo sa provincial board yung approved ordinance ng city?
Baka for FYI lang.
Alam mo yan siguro. With all due respect. Hindi pa ninira ito. With all due respect. Yung nakakaalam sa proseso ng pagpasa ng bill, talagang hindi dapat mangyari yan. Bakit? Kung ikaw yung sponsor ng bill, kahit na may ibang nagsingit ng provision dyan, obligado ka na basahin mo yan bago. Kasi ikaw ang mag-sponsor on the floor. Ikaw ang magpresenta sa floor yung inyong bill. At yun yung aaksyonan ng plenary. Sa lower house yan. Kung punta sa Senado, tapos na aksyonan ng Senado yan, punta sa Bicameral Conference Committee. Sa experience ako sa Bicameral Conference Committee, isa-isahin nila yung provision, article, section by section, up to the last point. Nagugulat ako.
That's why it makes us wonder, how was it?
Ayun nga. Well, possibly. Yung nasa Bicameral Conference Committee, with all due respect, baka either na they were not so keen in looking at the provision or hindi sila abogado na sige, lumusot yan.
Or in karamihan ngayon, is
ibuto natin yung mga artista na ganito.
Yeah.
Sige, baka, alam mo, nung yung amended city charter na dumaan sa bicameral conference committee during the time na sinasabi ko na binito ni Noynoy, sino ba ang ibang, to mention some of the members of the Senate na nandyan, si Apo Senator De Leon, abogado yan, former Secretary of Justice, si Attorney Pangilinan, abogado rin yan. Meron pa ibang lawyers. Inisa-isa namin yung provision from Section 1. That's why, kung ikaw yung sponsor, hindi ka sabihin na siningit lang yan eh. Kasi isa-isahin ninyo yan eh. Talagang ngunit, nandyan na, water under the bridge. That's why, homework natin na. Kung sino ang makapunta dyan, dapat that must be corrected.
Yes.
Talipad yan na dapat makorektar. Bakit sinalit pa natin yung BCDA, part ng City Charter, kagaya ng area ng Janay? Yeah. Alam naman natin yung Janay is reservation. Yan. Okay. Mali pa nga eh. Kasi kung tingnan mo naman yung nakalagay sa provision ng ito batas na yan. Amended City Charter. Yeah. In-increase yung land area ng Janay. I think it became 600 plus hectares. Yung totoo is 592 at hectares lang yung area ng Janay. You can just imagine the effect of that one. In-increase mo, it will encroach on the other areas na possibly these are already occupied by people. Dapat makurik yan. Alam naman natin, yung Janay reservation yan, hindi kaparte ng town site reservation ng city. Ngunit, yan, kung balikan natin yung 19 conditionalities, ay, na talagang in-implement partially, mga sa akin marami na yung provision diyan na in-implement naman ng BCDA. Condition number 14, dapat yung 13 barangays na within Janay reservation, alisin natin sa Janay reservation yan, isegregate natin para ito, yung kayong aming mga kapatid sa 13 barangays, kung sana pinatupad na maipapatupad ito at maalis sa Janay reservation, kung naalis yan, anong gusto sabihin? It will form part of the alienable and disposable public lands of the city. At kung yung portion of it is qualified to be titled under the IPRA Law, Republic Act 8371, let it be titled under the IPRA Law. Ngunit kung hindi qualified as ancestral land, then i-apply natin yung sinasabi kong amendment na direct award sa actual or qualified applicant. Parang matapos na yung issue of ownership and makakatulong sa atin in trying to prevent land speculations and squattings. Di kagayang nangyayari ngayon na may talagang tao na mag-apply sila dyan under TC, ibig nila sa ibang tao, pupunta man na naman sa ibang lugar, mag-apply na naman. Yun yung
Yeah. Speaking of that, there was this Supreme Court decision na lumabas between the Ibaloy claimants of here versus yung parang nag-claim sila. And then the Supreme Court decision said na ang Baguio ay hindi covered ng IP law. And then parang sa akin na parang common tao na naka-view, looking back at history, the very first indigenous person who won a case against parang yung sa Regalian Doctrine ay taga Baguio in the person of Macho Carino. And then parang what happened? Parang nag-devolve ba yung law na all of a sudden from 1900s or way back and then going back to 2025 parang are we not protecting yung indigenous peoples, right? Kahit na meron tayong IPRA law. Can you give me an explanation, a layman's explanation on what happened?
Unang-una, hindi totoo and I disagree yung interpretasyon at pananaw ng iba base sa decision ng Supreme Court na recently promulgated and released involving claim for ancestral land na hindi kasali ang City of Baguio sa coverage ng IPRA law. Ito ang katotohanan. Generally, the City of Baguio is not covered by the IPRA law.
For the reason?
For the reason that, kung tingnan natin yung debate when the IPRA law was passed, kasi sa Baguio, nabigyan yung mga indigenous people ng karapatan to assert their claim for their ancestral property. Ito yung noong una, known as the Igorot claim. Yan. So, meron silang pagkakataon to identify areas in the City of Baguio na yun ancestral land nila. Kung tingnan mo ang Civil Case Reservation 211 na na-file, kung ang aking memory ay hindi magkakamali, April of 1911, na pinalabas yung Court of First Instance din, yung decision niya, sometime in 1922, sinasabi, tatlong ang classification ng lupa sa City of Baguio. Una, yung government properties and reservation. Yung government properties, kagaya yung mansion house, the cabinet properties, yung reservations, military, health, forest, water, road right of way, school reservation. Lahat yan. Water shade, reservation. So, classification number 1. Classification number 2, private properties. Ano ang private properties? Ito ang nabigyan ng titulo. At sinali dito ang later on recognized na Igorot claims. So recognized na Igorot claims partake of the nature of a private property na hindi covered ng town site reservation. Yon. Pangatlong classification, yung hindi government-owned and reservation na hindi private property, ito ay alienable and disposable public lands na parte ng town site reservation of Baguio. Ganon. So, later on, then President Magsaysay issued an executive order for the identification and screening of Igorot claims. And there were 48 original Igorot claims that have been recognized.
Okay, 48.
First, yes. Second, nagpatuloy pa rin yan. Second, there were additional, I think, 258, more than 200, additional recognized Igorot claims. So this recognized Igorot claims, I repeat, partake of the nature of a private property. Okay. Matapos yan, dumating yung decision ng Supreme Court in Republic Act versus Honorable Angel Sanggalang et al. And Republic versus Honorable Simporosio Pangunil et al. Ano nang sabi ng Supreme Court sa decision na yan? Wala na. In short, hindi na kayong pwedeng mag-identify at magpatitulo ng igurot claim. Kung talagang hindi na-identify dyan, wala na, close, parang ganun. You cannot anymore. Kasi itong kasong ito na dinesisyon na ni Honorable Judge Pangunil and Judge Sanggalang, land registration ng allegedly ancestral claim or igorot claims. So, yun ang decision ng Supreme Court. Ngunit, fortunate pa rin yung mga ancestral land claimants. Kasi, during the Cory administration, nag-issue ng DNR, yung Department Administrative Order Number 2, known as DAW-OTO in short. Ano ito? Identification and Screening of Ancestral Land Claims. Na sinali ang City of Baguio to the rest of the areas of the country. At kung hindi ako magkakamali, may 700 plus na naman na-recognize under that DAW-OTO. So, kung to rephrase, no, summarize it, original, 48, then second, 200 plus, then third, 700 plus. Ganon. So recognize yan. Itong 700 plus na marami yung nagko-question kasi yung pinagbasihan is DAW-OTO, Department Administrative Order. Ngunit, noong naipasa yung IPRA law, which took effect November of 1997, ito nga, yung exception sa general provision na the City of Baguio is not covered by the IPRA law, may special provision for Baguio, which is Section 78. Na yung provision ng Section 78, ganito, sinasabi. You can read, you can check what I am saying. Sa first sentence, sabi niya, the City of Baguio shall be governed by its city charter. All lands which are part of its town site reservation shall remain as such until reclassified by legislation. So under that provision, and that is the general rule, the City of Baguio is not covered by the IPRA law.
Reclassify the city legislation or the national legislation?
This is a national legislation. Nakaparte yung Republic Act 8471, which is the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act. So nakalagay dyan. Ngunit ito, ang exception where the IPRA law can still apply in the City of Baguio. Second sentence, provided that titles or rights issued by administrative bodies or by the court, itong importanting word, before the effectivity of this law or prior to the effectivity of this law shall remain valid. Siguro, marami yung hindi nakakaintindi sa provision na yan. But let me, to my best, explain it.
In English.
In English. Well, that provision, take note, it did not say ancestral land claims.
Yes.
What it says is titles or rights
issued
by administrative bodies or by the court. Ito, prior to the effectivity of this law. I repeat, the IPRA law took effect November of 1997.
Yeah.
All right.
I understand.
Applying that provision, as far as ancestral land claim is concerned, kung yung right mo as ancestral land claimant had been recognized by the DNR or administrative body or by the court,
Before 1990.
Bago November 1997 at hindi pa titled yan, you can still title it under the IPRA law. Ito naman yung nakalagay sa decision, yung Republic versus NCIP in the ears of Josephine Abanag et al. Na iyon yung nakukonfuse yung mga tao sa interpretation na walang application ng ano. Basahin ninyong mabuti. Yung ano ni Senior Justice Antonio Carpio, who was the ponencia of that decision. Maliwanag na dininay nila ang ancestral land claims ni Josephine Abanag et al. Kasi hindi na-recognize yung kanilang rights
Even
as ancestral claimants of these areas bago mag-epekto ang IPRA law, November of 1997.
that is the effect of sir, yung media na
Ayun nga
yung headlines is Baguio is not included in the IPRA law.
Mali nga. That's why. Ito, I've been suggesting to NCIP.
Yeah.
Kung minsan kasi, why not call a forum involving all this and let us help each other in explain this one. Ito. Next. Ito parang maliwanag. Kasi I want to explain Section 78, special provision in relation to Section 56 of the IPRA law. Hindi mo sinabing ito ang pag-usapan natin. So I did not review. So, I'm just banking on my memory. Anyway,
it's a good yeah.
Ano ang sinasabi ng Section 56 of yung IPRA law?
Yeah.
Existing vested rights shall remain and will be recognized. Okay.
Right. Yeah.
So in relation with the with Section 78, kasi ito yung sinabi yung exception is rights or titles. Okay. Ano ang examples ng vested right? Yung proclamation, road right of way na na-proclaim, sanitary reservation, forest, watershed, military, school reservation, and so on. Those are considered as rights. That's why I do not agree sa interpretation ng iba na pwedeng applyan mo yung reservation, kasi ancestral land claim mo yan, na hindi mo pa na alis as part of the reservation. Yung sinasuggest ko, because we should interpret Section 78, a special provision with Section 56, which says that existing vested rights shall continue to be recognized. I-delete natin muna sa existing vested right. Or in short, i-delete mo sa coverage ng proclamation. Na iyon yung gusto natin gawin sa 13 barangays na nasa coverage ng proclamation ng Janet. Alisin natin muna sa proclamation of Janhe as reservation. And then kung naalis na yan, at yun, ulitin ko, yung areas dyan na pwede mong applyan ng ancestral land title under the IPRA law, applyan mo na. At yung hindi pwede, ay i-apply natin sana, yung sinasabi ko, yung direkse sa actual or in or qualified applicant. So, I hope, with all due respect sa NCIP, halos yung cases involving the NCIP na nakarating sa Supreme Court, na decided by the Supreme Court, adverse sa NCIP.
In favor of the other party, not the NCIP.
Bakit? Yun nga gusto sabihin, with all due respect, hindi nila ini-interpret ng tama ang IPRA law. Sila ang number one na agency that should have a correct interpretation of the IPRA law. Ngunit tingnan mo, yung Republic versus NCIP, Josephine Abanag et al.
So,
Tingnan mo,
parang-
natalo sila. Tingnan mo, ang Republic versus CIP in Placido Carantes, ay Antino Carantes or Carantes et al. That covers the South Drive.
talo rin.
Yung sa Kwan, sa Upper Session Road, near sa Baliw Hotel. Bakit? Kasi, yun nga, yung interpretasyon ng Special Provision Section 78. Yung sa Upper Session Road, maliwanag na part of it is road right of way. Tituloan mo yan under the IPRA law na parte ng road right of way. Ano naman yan? Yung South Drive, maliwanag na it's Park Reservation at wala namang recognition prior to November 1997 na yun ancestral land claims. Diyan natalo ang NCIP. Sabi ng Supreme Court, wala kayong jurisdiction to title that under Certificate of Ancestral Land title under the IPRA law ensure.
I hope one of those people from NCIP will be listening to this.
Well, ako, I do not have the monopoly of knowledge, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to say
It's a good
my
point, though, yeah.
because ito sinasabi nilang I influence the Supreme Court sa decision because my memorandum when I was in Congress, that issue came out. Sabi nila, the city of Baguio is not covered by the IPRA law. I objected.
Yeah.
I said, hey, I hope you can retrieve my memorandum when I was in Congress. I said, that's not correct. Generally, the city of Baguio is not covered by the IPRA law. But in an special provision, Section 78, the city of Baguio is covered. Is still covered by the IPRA law. But ito take note, special provision. So in short, exemption. There are exempted situation na yung exempted situation, I repeat, is yung mga ancestral land claims recognized bago mag-epekto ang IPRA law.
Which is November 19.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is the one. It so happened that nagkatugma sa sinabi ng Supreme Court sa Republic versus
I think that's the latest.
NCIP sa Wright Park. Sabi na, in-influence. Who am I to influence the Supreme Court? I am just an ordinary man of the street. Mulmulo nga klaang nga tao. Well, it so happened. That's how I look at and understand
There's one
the law.
in another topic, Congressman. There's one that I would like. I heard this from Attorney Frenzel Ayong. Shout out to Kuya Frenzel. If there's one law in the Philippines that needs to be amended or like improved, ay yung yung law on the small scale mining. Yeah.
Tama yan. Hindi lang yan. Related yan. Kasi as part of your question is yung anong gagawin natin that
Yes.
hindi lang sa City of Baguio but hindi pa tayo tapos sa City of Baguio.
Yeah, sure.
Bago natin puntahan yan, isang importanteng concern na gawin natin. Punta sa kahit na-share ko ito, who will win. Dapat yun yung gawin niya. Yung military reservation.
Military reservation.
I'm talking of Navy base and Camp Alin. Ito Philippine Military Reservation. On it, unfortunately, for a long period of time, hindi naman nagamit yung lahat itong portion of the reservation for the purpose it has been reserved. It has been long time occupied by settlers. During the time, I was still the janitor of the city. It was an important issue to be resolved. So, we convened the tripartite committee, National Housing Authority, Committee on Barton. Marami ang involved dyan. land use in housing, PMA, representative, and a member of the City Council on land use and relocation. At talagang yung decision namin, mayroon kasing batas na kung hindi nagamit yung proclamation for the purpose an area had been reserved, it should be delisted from the proclamation and converted for low-cost housing for
low-cost
housing or for the land lease.
Yeah.
Ito, occupied by people. So, minsan meron na yung segregation survey. Pumirma naman kami dyan, including the different members of the tripartite committee, Navy Base, and Camp Alin. Ano ang gawin natin dito? Parang ma-finalize na yan at pwedeng applyan yung itong mga occupants. Na again, kung magawa natin yung direct award amendment, it should be awarded to them directly. File the bill to amend the proclamation to exclude these areas from the military reservation para may direct award sa mga qualified in or actual applicants in occupants. Yon. Isa pa, yung Gibraltar, kung nakikinig yung tiga Gibraltar, Parcel 3, Forbes Park Reservation. Matagal na we have been working on that. It cannot be easily done. But I tell you, na-convince yung DENR na maalis as part of the reservation yan. Naaprubahan na ang segregation survey. Pumirma si Apo Director Isaias Barungan when he was the executive director of the DENR. I filed the bill for the segregation of that area. Unfortunately, hindi natapos during my time. Dapat may refile yan. Kaawa-awa naman. Hindi politika ito. Yung tiga Gibraltar na for a long period of time, they have been occupying the land. They are not also paying real property taxes over the land to the city. So, lugi din yung government. Yun, yung isang priority for Tito Bagyo. Next, yung parte din ng Apple Gibraltar, Mines View, major part ng Luacan, Atok Trail, and part of Kias, mining reservation. Long time ago. Ngunit hindi naman namimina yan eh. Long time na occupied by settlers. Awawa naman sila. Kung hindi, I started working on this when Executive Director of the DENR, Roquisa de Castro, was the one there. And we agreed na dapat ito ma-amend yung proclamation to make these areas alienable and disposable. Na again, kung maaprubahan yung unang sinabi kong amendment, i-direct award sa mga occupant. Hindi politika ito. Talagang ano. And then of course, yung 13 barangays na within Janhi, dapat ma-file yung bill. Sundin natin yung condition number 14. Ulitin ko na naman, to be delisted from Janhi reservation. Parang yung pwedeng applyan mo sa ancestral land. Let the ancestral land claimants apply it under the IPRA law. Yung hindi qualified yan, i-direct award natin sa actual in or qualified applicant.
You're saying that if they cannot claim it through IPRA law, meron naman yung remedyo ng...
Yes, that's why important thing amendment of the amended city charter, yung
yes.
Ano na yan eh.
That's the very first step.
Yes, oo. And then of course, hindi pa pumunta tayo sa education, health services, and social services, but it's so long if we will go that. Yeah. So, anyway, there will be time that we can, Now, puntahan natin yung sinasabi mo na, Attorney Ayong, former Mayor Attorney Ayong. Tama naman yan. I-review natin yung small-scale mining law. Take note, medyo controversial yung pag-approve sa small-scale mining law. Nakagaya ang IPRA law.
Yeah.
If you will take note, yung IPRA law, that's why we have to study carefully yung nagsasabi, i-amin natin yung IPRA law. Kagaya ng Special Provision 78. It's not that I am objecting. But if we are looking at the records of how the IPRA law had been passed, it has been controversial. Bakit? No less than a retired justice of the Supreme Court question the constitutionality of the IPRA law as violation of the Regalian Doctrine. Anyway, pumunta sa Supreme Court. Alam mo, yung butuhan ng Supreme Court yan, at ito ang dahilan na hindi na i-declare na unconstitutional yung IPRA law dahil tabla. And, so they cannot declare it as unconstitutional kasi they were not able to get the majority vote. That's why pag-aralan natin mabuti yung nagpupus na iamin natin yan.
Because it went through a lot.
Yeah. Yes. And then baka pa. Hindi natin it can be good, it can be bad. That's my apprehension there. So dapat pag-aralan natin mabuti at pakiramdaman natin yung mga views ng justices of the Supreme Court because there's a way ba mo gumugawin. Otherwise, you are risking.
The problem now is politicians nowadays knows how to ride on the emotions of people in the social media. Kaya yun nga yung sinasabi ko na parang I don't know if yung parang quality of thinking leaders nowadays parang depleting that kukunti na lang yung natitira ng mga the likes of you that think through it. So yun yung parang in my personal opinion, I would love for you to have your life also. But then when thinking of people, thinking of the country, since you still have the urge to still serve, then we say good luck.
Alam mo yan, tama ka dyan. It's unfortunate what is happening today. I hope dapat sabayan natin yung palaging dasal sa ating Panginoon. Talagang it's getting worse and worse.
Yeah.
Yung ating political system. Hindi na, I am sure, you have your own views na nakikita ninyo. Yung computerization na yan. Alam naman natin eh.
Yeah.
It's proven na
did you check
talagang
it? Na-check nyo na? Yung para for na?
Well, pakita nila. But again, alam mo naman eh, tingnan mo lang.
Yeah.
News about the Philippines na China or yung hacking. Kung nagawa niyang niyan, ano kaya dito? Sa Amerika, is supposed to be there are a lot of cases na inaano nila that they were able to penetrate and hack yung But anyway, ibang istorya yan. Puntahan natin yung topiko natin. Yung sinasabi ni Atty. Ayong. Yes, ako. Dapat natin i-review ang small scale mining law na talagang halos ang hirap mag-apply. Yung isa kasing problema dito sa small scale mining, nakikita ko, kahit na yung mga, kasi the implementing agency is DENR. Kulang yung personnel ng DENR to monitor compliance, specifically on environmental concerns sa implementasyon ng small scale mining law. Yun yung sumisira dito na, well, this is really a good livelihood for a lot of our own people. Ngunit kung tingnan mo yung epekto sa environment, talagang hindi nasusunod yung requirements ng batas. Yun yung problema dyan. That's why pag-isipan natin, paano natin i-amend yan para nga kung magbigay tayo ng permit sa small-scale mining, nakakasigurado tayo na yung nabibigyan ng permit, sumusunod sa mga ibang obligasyon niya to balance the small mining activities with the protection of our environment. Na ito nga din yung ini-implement ng DENR sa big mining companies. Ngunit sa big mining companies kasi, meron silang lisensya na pinoprotektahan. At yung manpower ng DENR, halos yun sila ang tinututukan. Ngunit yung sa small scale mining, wala. Sa amin lang. Sa boundary ng Mountain Province in Ilocos Sur. Puntaan mo yung ilog dyan. Nasira dahil sa small scale mining.
One of the ano yata yung definition ng small scale mining daw. Is kailangan daw yung old na tools, and then that's how you classify is called small scale mining. Kaya kapag gagamit ka ng mga modernized tools, hindi na daw small scale mining yun. That's ako rin, I do not agree na ganun. Ngunit, tingnan mo, yung sinayat kong example, boundary ng Mountain Province in Ilocos Sur. Gumamit silang bako, in short, modern. But they never complied with environmental safeguards. So talagang massive yung destruction, kumbaga. That polluted the creek in the rivers, sinira some of the rice fields. Hindi lang yung It's my first time to hear na meron palang doon.
Yes. High-grade gold yung kinukuha dyan. High-grade gold yung kinukuha dyan. Yun nga yung ako, hindi naman tayo total dyan. Ngunit, yung nga, how can we really do it na dapat yung gumagawa should comply with environmental safeguards and protection. Ganon naman yan. Yung isang itutuloy natin, relation also to this one, yung share ng host local government units sa national wealth taxes. Ay, kung hindi ako magkakamali, this is section 292 of the local government code. Sinabi diyan, alright, yung involved in the development of our natural resources, meron silang national wealth taxes na binabayaran na 5% of their net gross income. 60% of the 5% goes to the national government for 3 points. 40% or equivalent to 2 points is the share of the host local government unit. Ngunit, wala Talagang yung provision, niluloko natin yung host local government unit. Sorry for me to say, parang niluloko natin kasi parang sinasabi mo, ito anak, ay yung kinding ito, ngunit hindi mo binibigay Bakit? Sa proseso ganito Hindi dinidiretso ang operator ng kumpanya or yung company involved in the development of natural resources, yung share ng local government unit, yung proseso, 100% yung national wealth taxes, ibayad nila sa BIR.
Yeah.
And then the BIR, mag-issue ng certification na ganito ang binayad ng Felix Mines for its national wealth taxes. Ibibigay yan sa DBM, yung certification na yan. And then, DBM is obligated that for the preparation of, if that is for 2025, magbabayad ng Felix. Example, before the May 15 ng national wealth taxes, ibayad niya 100% sa BIR. Then, BIR is obligated to issue certification na ganito ang binayad ng Felix Mines as national wealth taxes. Kung hindi makalimutan ng BIR, ibibigay yung certification yan sa DBM. And then DBM is under the law obligated na for the next budgeting year, isasalin nila sa Proposed General Appropriation Act yung share ng local government unit na isaulin nila. In short, you will collect it only in 2026. Yung share mo sa national taxes. Kung hindi nakalimutan ng BIR na gawin yan. Kung hindi nakalimutan yung DBM na isali sa General Appropriation Act. Right. Ito again, I do not like to claim alone the credit on this one. Ganyan yung provision ng mga locators sa economic zone. Example, yung Texas Instrument, yung MOO, lahat yung nasa Luacan Economic Zone. Ganon din yung ano nila yung tax incentive nila nakalagay. In lieu of all other taxes, the locators or yung mga companies doing business there shall pay 5% of their net gross income to government. Okay. 60% of that 5% sa national government. 40% of the 5% sa City of Baguio. Ngunit nung una, yun nga, pumupunta sa national government lahat. Hindi naman namin nakukuha ang 40% na share namin Nag-complain ako, we want to give credit to Secretary Ocampo. This was during the time of President Ramos. Dapat i-amend natin yan para kung ano ang kay Pedro, ibigay natin kay Pedro diretso. Kung ano ang kay Juan, ibigay mo kay Juan. So, parang diretso sana yung share ng local government unit from the taxpayers. Diretso rin yung share ng national government from them. Naprubahan yan. Na yun yung away namin.
But that is just for your city.
For the economic zone. Yeah. No, this is all over the country, but in economic zones. Yung away namin kay Apo Director, I mentioned this, Director Martinez ng BIR. Kasi, despite that amendment, ganito, binayad ng yung bago mag-epekto yan, binayad ng locator sa Luacan area, yung taxes niya kay BIR, diniretso ni Apo Martinez sa national government. And then, we were trying to claim our share.
Your share.
Then, pumunta kami. Sabi ni Apo Vergara at that time, siya ang mayor, sama mo ako kasi ikaw ang nakakaalam ng batas. Kasi naman ko, punta kami. Then nagulat ako, sabi niya sa akin, no one can force me to do that, sabi ko. Meron kayong namang resolution, BIR mismo na dapat ibigay ninyo sa city ang share ng city. Huwag i-forward sa national government. Then she challenged me, sabi niya, kung gusto mo mag-debate tayo, medyo hindi maganda yung pag-dinig ko dyan. Sabi ko, why should I debate with you when you do not even know your own resolution? BIR resolution ito. Nagsasabi na ibigay mo sa city. Pagkatapos, sabihin mo pa, mag-debate tayo. Nagalit siya. Nagalit din ako. I-declare ng City Council na personal na grata siya. Dahil yan. Well, as we said, that had been amended. So wala na tayong problema sa taxes. Share natin ng taxes sa economic zone. Ito isang importante. Because I am always one of the advocate of Cordillera Autonomy. Talagang yun yung, to me, one of the priorities na talagang given the chance to be there. That will be part of the priority bills that
do you think
will refile.
We still have a chance?
We have still the chance. If only we can rally among ourselves to support it. pinaka-importante.
So before that one will be moved is that magkakaroon ulit ng plebiscite. Yun ba yung process?
Well, after na naprobahan into law, required. Importante dyan, siguraduhin natin na yung provisions ng autonomy law will ensure improvement from our existing situation. From the point of revenues, from the point of governance, autonomy and governance, as an example, exercise of administrative powers and shortening of bureaucracy to make services of our government nearer to the people.
Yeah, you're trying to go to Congress kung saan parang majority ng tingin ng mga tao ngayon because people now are well informed and well misinformed. Let's just put it at that. People now are well informed and well misinformed because of social media, and people now are aware of what happened to the budget of 2025, the national budget, and then there was this expose from our mayor here, Mayor Magalong, on how the lawmakers find loopholes to and this is just my word, in my opinion, maybe to legally still I don't know if that's, I think that's libelous. To legally, like, parang ganon ang point ng tao, to legally na makanakaw sila from the budget and to make their names known to the voters using the taxpayers' money. In your time in the Congress, because you've been serving long enough to like see the ins and outs of Congress, did you experience such? And in your opinion, how can we put a stop to this?
Well, unang-una, may punto naman yung clamor ng a lot of our people like our mayor on that point. Kasi unang-una, everything she is referring to ayuda, AKAP, AX, tupad.
But the 77 and the 30-30.
Yes. Parang unang-una, bakit
he is
kaya
CIDG director and he knows how to get intelligence. Yeah.
Bakit kasi pinapadaan natin sa kamay ng mga politicians yan?
Yep.
Dapat hindi. Okay, during our time, the 40s, yun lang yung existing during our time.
Yes.
Yung participation ko lang dyan is pirmahan ko yung screen beneficiaries. Nagalit ako sa DSWD. Kasi nung ma-implement yan, yung ginawa nila, despite the fact na yung mayor nung magpipirma ng screen beneficiaries of the 40s, hindi kami in-involved sa screening.
Yeah.
Yung proseso ba? Nag-hire sila ng job orders na sila ang gumawa. And then, pagkatapos, sabihin nila, pipirmahan ko yung in-identify na nilang beneficiaries. Ang dami yung complaint na natanggap ko na. May nagpapaupa ng apartment, beneficiary. May lupa na 7 hectares, beneficiary. May taxi na, 7 taxi na nag-operate, beneficiary. Itong mali. Yung implementasyon, hindi dapat kasali yung mga politicians diyan.
Tama.
There must be a system and this must be spearheaded by the DSWD. In the case of the city of Baguio, meron tayong social services department. And that's why, hindi ko pinirmahan yan. Sabi ko, ito kasi, ayaw ko naman ma-involve sa ngunit I want to suggest this, na if you like an honest to goodness, na implement natin yung purpose of the law, i-involve ninyo ang city. Kasi kami, meron kaming barangay health workers, barangay nutrition scholars, distributed in the different barangays. Alam nila yung poorest of the poor. We have the data already in each of the barangay, poorest of the poor. Kung sana, in-involve ninyo kami, we will involve them. Our social department of the city must be involved. That will be the source of our working document. Pick from them. Kasi talaga, if you like, validate yung linista ng mga barangay health workers, barangay nutrition scholars. Sila. Hinayang ninyo ang budget. Kasi yung problema sa batas, kung meron kang maling ginawang beneficiary at madi-disqualify yan, hindi mo pwedeng kaagad-agad palitan yan. You have to wait for the next year bago mo palitan yan. Yung nasayang. So, ganito din. Yung tupad na yan, ay ayuda. Dapat hindi sa kamay ng yan.
Sir. Yeah, tama po.
Kasi again, the transparency and accountability. Sino ang nagmumonitor? Na ito dapat na ito talagang nagagastos sa purpose why the law has appropriated it. That's why tayo na mga tao, take note, pira natin yan.
Exactly.
Hindi pira ng politician.
For those who are listening, listen to this.
Hindi pira ng politician yan. Yun ang pagbabasihan natin na ibubuto mo kung may ayuda, ganun. Meron bang marami na hindi nabigyan? Well, of course, yung complaint ng mga iba, kung identified kami na hindi kami susuporta sa kanila, hindi nabibigyan. Yun na yan. Hindi mo maalis yung ganung sinasabi ng maraming tao dahil nga dyan well, sinusundan mo pang mabuti yung batas, meron pa rin at meron yung criticism. That's why, yung sinabi ni Apo Mayori, hindi mo mablin, may talagang weight and credence sa
Yes. And then, moving on to this one here, balik tayo sa Baguio, sir. I have this, nagiging topic ito yung on the urban decay, and then, pag-isayin na lang siguro natin, sir. The urban decay, what's your thought on this? That's why we have to strictly, parang sift through yung mga illegal settlers, yung mga ganon sa IATA, because of the urban decay. We are now overpopulated daw sa Baguio. And then, meron yung lumalabas na ito, yung congestion fee na 2,050. That was...
I do not agree with that congestion fee. To see it straight. Imagine, kagaya nyo, how many times you will pass Session Road? Anong mangyari? But anyway, urban decay. Urban decay, sure. Complicated na sagutin mo yan Kasi, you go back to the history of Baguio. First, if you will note, Architect Daniel Burnham planned the city of Baguio to be good only for 25,000 people. Overpopulated tayo.
Yes, sir.
Now, yung problema, can you prohibit people from migrating here? It's easier said than done. It can be done anyway. Ngunit, again, going back to history, yung plano ni Architect Burnham, unfortunately, nung una, hindi na masyadong na-implement. Yung density in each of the areas in the city of Baguio, hindi na nasunod yan and then, we do not, I do not like to be pinpointing fingers to each other. But talagang that's why as I said, it's too difficult to answer that one because long time ago, you try to look at how the population of Baguio increased up to this time. Alright. So, ano ang pwede natin gawin? Kasi, with the situation na yan, possibly yung ating gawin, first, talagang learning lesson from the past, implement natin yung implementable na batas that can address urban decay. Kagaya ang sinasabi niya na congestion, sa mga
Cars and
pwede
everything.
ning na the limit of the population that should be placed in this barangay nag-exceed na tagal na. So
exactly.
if there's na
Hindi
i-limit
na
na
paalisin
yan.
yung mga
Ngunit again, madaling sabihin mo yan, ngunit mahirap gawin. That's why this must be complemented with the blessed development. Parang mayroong alternative areas na puntahan ng tao. And this is the reason why we have the European Union Urban Planning na ginawa nila, donated by them yung funding sa paggawa ng plano na yan after we were devastated by the killer earthquake of July 16. At ito nga, yung talagang isang sinadis ng European Union sa kanilang plano is yung bliss development. That's why the circumferential road has been suggested.
For those who are listening that doesn't know, yung bliss is Baguio, La Trinidad, Itugon, Sablan, Toba. Yon yung original. Wala pang Tublay. But recently, tama naman na naisali ang Tublay. Kasi malapit naman yung Tublay. Alright. Natapos namin yung circumferential road, Baguio, inner circumferential road. Natapos na natin. That's why, ito nga, yung daan ng circumferential road, of course, we start Marcos Highway, entering Baguio, magkanang ka sa Balakbak, then cross going to Camp 7 if you are going to Janhi, and then akyat ka sa Luacan, Janhi, Pakdal, anong area. And then itutuloy mo yan, and then you can pass Happy Hollow, part ng circumferential road dyan, pass Country Club, passing Right Park, and then akyat sa Ambuklaw Road. And then, tapos na yung Silan Road from Bukal to Tublay. Yon. Now, from Marcos Highway, if you are going to Irisan side or to La Trinidad, you can possibly turn left going down to Pinewoods, former Poyat Farm, and then cross Asin Road, going up Irisan, Nagilian Road, and then at Lampang, turn right to, of course, Tamawan, and then going down to Pico, La Trinidad. So, we divert the flow of traffic na hindi lahat dito sa sentro dumadaan. Nakaka-contribute yan sa urban decay solution. And then, of course, next na natin, which is, again, difficult to, yung limiting, I go back to limiting yung density in the barangays in the city of Baguio. That's why, hopefully, yung ating adjoining members of police will also finish their homework as far as the inner circumferential road. Hindi pa natin nasimulan yung outer circumferential road because ito ang solution so that those areas can be an alternative good residential investment site that will improve also their economy at the same time solving in mitigating also the problems in the city of Baguio on congestion, urban decay na sinasabi na, traffic problems and so on. Ayun yung doable. In the meantime, in the city of Baguio, yung talking of infrastructure, of course, it is nasimulan ko yan, but always being objected yung paggawa ng parking buildings. Parang walang.
Sa former city auditorium, meron kami naman plano dyan ngunit kasi na-object. Yung Milbin Jones, siguro balikan natin yan kasi matindi ang opposition na naman noon. Yung plano dyan, siya po, Architect Estipuna, yung nagplano. gawan natin ng hukayin ng mga about a meter. Let us study if this is feasible about a meter. You create one floor parking. The surface will still be lower than the stage sa Milvin Jones. And then the surface will just the same remain as football ground, open ground. At we were thinking na nakita ko yung artificial grass sa football ground nila sa Canada, sa South Korea. Maganda naman eh. Why can we not avail of that artificial grass? Parang hindi mahirap i-maintain. To be complemented sana, I hope, how I wish, because this was approved before I left the city government.
Yeah.
Yung extension ng City Hall, 8-story building dito sa Camp Allen side where the fire station is located. 8-story. 3 floors of that, including the fire station.
Right? It was approved already?
Yes, during my time. Meron kaming initial budget na inappropriate na 400 plus million dyan. Hindi lang na-implement. 3 floors parking. Of course, yung fire station, we still designate it as fire station. Kasi iyan, na fire station, while some say, it complicates the traffic of the city. Sa akin, yung kasi ang sintro that the fire men can immediately respond to the fire emergency. Yung access availability in any of the barangays. But anyway, yung 3 floors parking sa sinasabi natin sa extension ng City Hall para lahat ng government cars nakaparada surrounding City Hall will be removed. Ipasok mo lahat dyan. Yung magpapak lang ng surrounding City Hall, yung mga clientele, ang ating mga constituents na meron silang business transaction with the ano. And then, yung Treasury Office and Assessor's Office, including the business permit section, will be transferred sa 4th floor of the building. Parang we achieve the one concept na ganun. To make it easier for our businesses, business permits to be processed. Ganon. And then, i-transfer natin yung legislative building dyan. Yung, of course, kung yung 5th floor, gawin mong session hall ng City Council, and then, yung 6th floor will be the offices of the Vice Mayor and the councilors, including the representatives from different the accredited sectors. So that ma-widen yung mga areas in the main building of City Hall. Kaawa-awa. During the time of Apo Almaya, sa our city assessor's office, mabuti na lang at si Apo Almaya, not to downgrade her. Ganon yung kanyang size. So at least, hindi siya yumuyo ko. Akala mong nakaupo, nakatayo na siya. So walang problema. Sa iba, iba, problema yan eh. Hindi kang Joseph ba? As a government office. Even sa sa City Treasury sa baba, that must be improved para yung general services also, iangat natin yung general services. Kung tingnan mo yung opisina ng general services, medyo masikip sila eh. Remember, the general services involved sa ng garbage. And ito, priority din yung solid waste disposal system ng city. Possibly, some will say, anong ginagawa mo? Alam mo, we have gone to a lot of possibilities sa Blan, even Burgos, Rosario. Yung gusto kong i-pursue na yung binigay ng Benguet Corporation, yung Antamok open pit na 32 or 35 hectares, meron kaming pinirma notaryado na use of agreement na ibibigay nila na gamitin ng city yan in IMC. Kahit na isalma natin yung bliss as solid waste disposal system with the possibility of waste to energy. Na i-ano natin dyan. Libre. Sabi ng Benguet Corporation, di kami magpapabayan. Kung merong mababayaran, ibagay ninyo sa Itugon being the host municipal government. Tama naman yan. Fair naman yan. So, those are things that we have to explore.
Yeah. Then moving on sa again, viral ulit ito na issue. Aside from the 250 na matagal ng issue. This one, there was a video last week, I guess. Just this week yata, of POSD enforcers na hinihila yung paninda ng peddler. And then I talked to my wife. Sabi niya, my mother was also a peddler, and actually siya daw yung president ng during your time you organized all the vendors para mag-quartize na lang sila. And siya yung president. I don't know if you can still remember Paulina Sinagkop. She's my mother-in-law.
Okay.
And then I think that was also the time na kayo ba is it during your time na na-organize yung POS?
Actually, yes. Kung baga. But actually, yung POSD is an old existing division in the office of the city mayor. What does this mean? Public office city division. Ngunit limited yung manpower. At the time, 7 lang ata sila eh. Yet, it covers a lot of responsibilities. Kagaya naman yan. Ayusin mo yung cleanliness, orderliness, yung anti-peddling, and so on. Marami. So, of course, using an ordinance, we hire the POSD. They are not permanent employees. To augment the manpower of the POSD division.
Okay.
Alright. Ganito. Of course, problema natin yung illegal vendors, hilltop, magsaysay, lahat ng city. Yung problema ko dyan. So, kinuha natin, inorganize natin yung POSD na yan. That's why, yung sinasabi niya, ako nagsimula, yes, I do not disagree with that. Ngunit, kung tingnan ninyo, huwag naman natin i-concentrate sa negative aspect. Walang perfecto sa atin. Ngunit, tingnan ninyo, yung paglinis namin sa mga illegal vendors in Hilltop din at the time. Of course, kung paalisin mo sila, dapat mag-isip tayo how we will give them also the opportunity to earn for their livelihood. That's why, aaminin ko na yung ground floor ng Block 4 at that time, allocated na parking area.
Yes.
Ngunit yung bituka, itong mga illegal vendors na taga-city, you have to understand that also. So, ginawa ko na lang na relocation site, yung illegal vendors. Pinasok ko sila dyan. Noong una, of course, mahina ang bintahan dyan. So, marami ang ayaw na pumasok dyan. They did not take advantage of that situation. So, I started the night market. So, we started the night market as an alternative source of livelihood for those who cannot be accommodated there and who were unwilling to go there. POSD ang talagang kapartners natin na nagmumonitor sa implementing of the rules and regulations sa night market, sa illegal vending. Ito, hindi mo maaalis yung posibilidad na some of the POSD will abuse their powers. During our time, open yung ating opisina kung sino ang allegedly victims of yung abuse ng POSD, mag-report lang sa atin. I will call immediately the concerned POSD, pagharapin ko sila, tingnan natin kung sino ang nagsasabi ng totoo, and then ano ang solusyon. And then regular na mayroon kaming pulungan sa POSD, I think Friday. Every Friday, pinag-uusapan namin yung rules, implementation, and then yung mga complaints na we are receiving from certain sectors in the city. Huwag naman yung talagang mas powerful sila kaysa police. Ay, hindi naman ganun. Hindi naman ganun. That's why, kahit na anong criticism against me at the time, kung minsan, nung napalitan tayo, parang biniblim sa atin. May ibang tao na ganun yung kanilang attitude. Ako, I do not like it possible to inflate this one, ngunit I feel sad that there are some people na gumagawa ng ganun. Hindi naman ganun. That's why...
The problem is you have a very less presence gamin sa social media.
Yeah, that's correct. Kasi sa akin, yun yung I admit, kamali during my time, I'm not that media concerned individual. Importante sa akin. Basta ginawa ko yung makakaya kong gawin, period. Mag-speak ako ng project, especially rehabilitation Bagyo from the ruins of the killer earthquake. Umuwi ka ako, rain or shine. Maniwala kayo. Sometimes about 9 o'clock in the evening. Wala akong kasamang media na nagpipicture sa akin kung mag-speak ako. Wala. Yeah. Kasi sabi ko sa mga kapatid na media, well, ako do not like to be advertising myself. Kung news sa inyo, ginagawa natin, I give you the freedom to bring it out. Kung hindi, okay lang sa akin. Ngunit, masama pala yan. May disadvantage yan, I should say.
In this time, sir.
Kasi, kasi marami yung hindi nakakaalam at mayroong tao na they have the temerity also to claim that sila ang gumawa kahit na hindi sila.
They know how to leverage publicity. Well, on the case of the POSD, wala naman, in my opinion, this is my opinion, wala namang parang abuse of power on the video. Yun nga lang, the video appeals to the emotion of the people. Kasi kung titingnan, in one case, na tumitingin, they're just implementing naman kung ano yung mandato nila. But then, the video appeals to the emotion kasi, na maaawa ko dun sa isa. But then, it was explained by the head of the POSD naman kung anong nangyari. And then, looking at both sides, ginawa lang naman nila yung trabaho nila. Parang yun. And then, naano lang ako, I just want to know how that POSD started. Maybe last question before I will let you go, sir, because we've been talking for 1.5 hours. I don't want you to hold you for 3 hours again like what I did last time. So politics now is a very dynamic and fast pace. So ano yung mga parang ginagawa ninyo to keep up? You stay parang ganito na you can have a lot of appointments na ano ang sikreto ng isang Morris Dumulog?
wala naman akong ganong sikreto eh. Wala namang sikreto.
Patsakan nga ba to?
Masasabi ko lang, iwasan natin yung masamang bisyo.
Yeah.
Ganyan ang pag-inom. Natural, it affects your health in your performance. Ganon naman yan. Ay, ito. Just recently, I've been going down regularly to Cabanatuan to attend to cases. Di ko mahindihan yung papatulong na di nila kaya ang dapat na bayaran na legal fees. At tayo hindi lang yan. Kung meron kang maitulong, bakit pa? Hindi ko mo tayo ay nasa politika, but I think it's not to brag. It has always been part of my attitude. So, naawa ako sa kanila. Magluwas ako ng 2:15 dito early in the morning na mag-hearing sa Binyan, Laguna. Well, of course, the advantage of Tiplex, NLEX, and then Skyway. So I even arrived there earlier than my opponent.
Who
is from there. Ganon. Tapos ka, 4:30 in the afternoon, balik. Of course, it was not like yesterday, but still we can do it.
Yeah.
Gaya din sa ating trabaho. Sinasabi maraming appointments. Kung minsan, like today, halos magkaka-conflict yung schedule. But we find means of attending these schedules. Kung minsan, meron yung talagang hindi mo pwedeng puntahan because of yung time conflict. And there are factors na beyond your capability to control. So, of course, sinasabi natin sana maintindihan ninyo kasi tayo, alam naman ninyo na we are doing what we can to be there, but due to situations beyond our control, there are instances na we cannot be there. Ganun lang.
What's amazing is you can still find time for your granddaughters. I see your post sometimes.
Of course, because we calendar Sunday as our maliban sa, we talk regularly every now and then, evening as well as communicate with each other kasi importante ang family.
Yes.
Importante ang family. So, during our time, looking at the problems of yung drugs and yung mga discipline and character of our young people, talagang importante ang na isimula natin yung pasadang pangbarangay. When you go to the 20 districts of the city, you have the pastor that will talk on moral recovery program. Of course, I'm always regularly part of it. Yung pinag-uusapan dyan, yung obligasyon ng ama at ina, sana hindi natin makakalimutan. Tayo ang unang guro ng ating pamilya.
Tama.
Hindi ako maniwala na may maa-addict na anak kung yung parents ginawa nila yung obligasyon to teach yung kanilang mga anak ng values, tamang values. Especially, paniniwala sa ating Panginoon. Kung hindi natin maniniglect ating obligasyon sa ating pamilya, puro, hindi mangyari yung ganun. Yung nangyayari, dahil sa busy ka sa negosyo, basta ibibigay mo yung kailangan yung anak mo, sige, akala mo okay sila, na-influence sila sa sinasabi ng kanilang mga barkada na hindi tama, magdruga na sila, yun na. Yan. And then we go to the different schools, specifically the high school. We have the former, we have the pastors, the former drug addicts that will talk on drug. The doctor who will talk on, of course, the health issues, diet, nutrition, teenage pregnancies. Bakit? Nangyayari ito.
One of the most serious problems.
Teenage pregnancies. That's why, at that time, we have the census of the malnourished children also in the different schools. Ano ang cause ng malnourished? Tingnan mo, may bisyo ng ama at ina, nakakalimutan yung obligasyon sa pamilya. Yan yung palaging lumilitaw na general cause kung bakit meron tayong ganun . Di na nila alam na mag-control din. Kung siguro, masarap, sige.
That's why
in relation sa... to the extent na hindi din nila kayang ibigay yung pangangailangan ng kanilang mga anak. That's why it's interrelated na it cannot be solved easily. Kasi you need the cooperation of everybody, and we have been appealing to our different priests and pastors. Also, sana sa kanilang mga homily in relation sa, of course, the subject matter for the Sunday that
For
we
the
are,
sermon, yeah.
kung pwedeng isali yung obligasyon mga iyan ng ating parents. Kasi for sure, yun yung gusto ng ating Panginoon parang kasi yun nga, sa politika, bakit? Meron nang nagbibinta, pera-pera na lang. Kasi wala na yung values Unfortunately, is yung sabi nila, corruption. Tama, may corruption. And yung talagang nakakalungkot na parang it's becoming an accepted culture already.
Yeah.
Kasi sa politika,
It's an open secret.
politika, kung wala kang pera, wala ka na dyan. Parang kang basura. Kahit anong nanggaling yung pera mo. Yun yung nakakalungkot sa ating sitwasyon. That's why, yun yung balikan kung sabi ko na dagdagan natin sa ating dasal, the Lord to help us address this one.
And with that, I think we pray. You can. I pray na you have more strength to do the. I think malapit na ang opening yung campaign season.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And then I pray na when you get there, you will do a good job for the city of for the Philippines.
We are always open to suggestions, even criticism. Of course, sana constructive criticism. Because as we keep on seeing, no one has the monopoly of knowledge. Even me, I am not seeing na I have all the knowledge that I need. I need everybody's help. And I am sure that's the situation of the others also.
Yeah.
Magtulungan tayo.
I would like to talk about the issues between you and the BCDA, but I think I think we can just have it some other time. And I think if you have more time, maybe we can have another sit down in the future, another conversation.
Well, maybe in passing, no less than the chairman of BCDA came all the way from Manila. And we had the conference yesterday afternoon. Of course, siningil ko sila. Yung pagban ninyo sa akin. Of course, walang nakalagay na dahilan dyan.
Yeah.
And then, natural. I feel bad. Nag-press conference ako. Hindi naman ako nagsabi ng hindi totoo dyan.
Yeah.
Hindi ko sinisiraan yung BCDA. Yung concern ko lang, sinabi ko naman, yung mga caddies, employees, in yung rights and securities, yung members. Sumagot ka naman po, chairman. Sabi ko, kasi kilala ko pala, pamangkin ni the late Congressman Bersamin siya. And even si former Chief Justice Lucas Bersamin. Sumagot ka. Yung lang hindi tayo nakapag-agree. Kasi sabi ni Apo Chairman, okay, you just pay 5,000. You enjoy facilities, you can play. But this is for a period of 6 months, renewable for another 6 months. Sabi ko, anong mangyari after the 1-year period?
Yeah.
Sabi niya, well, basta ako ang chairman. Tuloy-tuloy. Yung nga yung problema.
Paano?
Palagi ba na ikaw ang chairman? So, my request is, why can we not reduce into writing? Yun lang yung punto na hindi kami kasi sabi na, wala akong authority to do that.
Which is not, hindi naman hindi naman masyadong demanding na request.
Hindi. Anyway, kahapon. Kasi, nung nag-press conference ko na yan, ito ang masama, sinasabi mo. nagpalabas sila sa mga Facebook, sa mga social media na making it appear. Ito, answer of BCDA to the press conference of Dumugan. And then, sinabi dyan that I've been accusing BCDA of dismissing the employees, the cadres. Hindi naman totoo yan eh. They can read, they can listen to my actual press conference. Wala ko. Then parang pinapalabas na ako ang participant in sabotaging the turnover of Johnny. Hindi naman totoo yan eh. Wala naman akong ano. And then, dinagdag pa na ako. Lord daw. Nagwala ako sa
which I
practice.
cannot imagine you doing that.
Yes. Sabi ko, hindi nangyari yan. Yung nangyari diyan, actually, paulit-ulit ko ito eh. Sabi ko, pumunta ako diyan ng Sabado, January 11. Sabi ko, maglaro ako. Anong tea time? 6:30. Tiningnan nila yung records nila. Wala ka naman pangalan sa 6:30, sabi ko. Si Danny Han at 2 Korean yung kasama ko. Tulad lang ako pa nagsabi na i-reserve niya yung 6:30 na tea time. Ngunit yung mga Koreans, ginamit nila, hindi yung Danny Han po, the Korean name. At wala ka ado daw akong pangalan. I do not blame them. Anyway, ginawa ko, tinawagan ko si Danny Han. Yes, nandito kami. We are waiting for you. You see, sabi ko, they are there waiting for me. So they issued to me the ticket and I went there. That's all that happened. Ito ang problema. And I do not blame these people. Bago sila sa frontis. They do not, I think, know the rules. Kasi hindi sila ang nagkukontrol sa flight. It's the starter. Gusto sabihin, kagaya niyan. Kasi sabi nila, maglaro ka ng 7 o'clock. And then I think yun yung reason nila. Sabi na, I am asking privilege to play on 6:30 instead yung ino-offer nila 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. That's not true. Because I have my tea time na 6:30. And ito, yung nagkukontrol ng flight, yung starter. Which simply means na, okay, kung sabihin ko, from the 6:30 ako, they can just call the starter. O sige ganito, maglaro daw ng 6:30, ganito yung kalaro. Punta ka dyan at nagsinungaling ka na yung 6:30 flight ay kumpleto silang 4. You will not be allowed to play. Kung mag-isa ka lang, you are not allowed to play. Yung 2 kayo lang, you are not allowed to play. So, hindi ka pwedeng magsinungaling dyan. That's why there's no reason for me to do that. And correct. When I went there, nandiyan na. That's why I even passed through si Apo Chairman. Tatlo silang naglalaro. Nag-usap pa nga kami. So I was able to. That's why I was able to play because tatlo lang sila. Kasi yung allowed na maglaro under the rules, 4 lang. And then, kung Saturday, hindi pwede yung 2, hindi pwede yung 1. So, hindi ka ganun lang nangyari. So, well, sa pagsalita ko, if they interpret it kagaya nito na, if you are new to me, baka sabihin mo, I am rude. But no, that is not true. I even said, that's why sabi ko kasi, ano namang ginawa ninyo? So, sabi ni Chairman, I do not know. They will deny it. 2 sila kay Marlo. Hindi galing sa amin yan. And so I am requesting them, why can you not come out a written document na hindi palaga, you did not authorize that press release. Because pinagsasabong tayo ng media.
It favors them.
Yan yung That's why, ngunit ang hirap. Sabihin ko dito kasi ako, ayaw kong magsinungaling. Yun yung sabi ni Chairman kapon, nandyan si Marlo. Could I have my witness, si Atty. Lucky. Sinama ko si Atty. Lucky. Kandaman naman yung pag-uusap namin kay August. Yung palaging sinasabi ni Chairman, i-withdraw mo na yung kaso. Wala nang problema naman sa kaso eh. I can withdraw that at any time. Why, of course, you allow me. I will, because I am going to amend justice in my complaint kung sakaling wala tayong mabuting terms and conditions that recognize the rights of the members. Security of the members. I will continue to file the case. Sabi ko, Chairman, ito yung importante sa kanya, because, i-withdraw mo sana, parang meron tayong avenue to talk on this one. Which, how I wish that should have been done bago sila, kahit na nag-take over sila, immediately nag-dial sana kami parang, ano ang alternative na pwede namin gawin? Unfortunately, well, I do not blame them. They have also the task na, alam na, the other side will do something that will prevent them. But that's all that, that's why,
first time that I saw you in I saw your name on the national news with national news yata yun, nakita ko you were rude to someone, and I'm just smiling because I cannot imagine you. I cannot imagine you being that. Well, anyway, thank you so much for the time. I think you still have some appointment. Thank you so much for giving me this time to have this conversation with you, and I hope we can do this again in the future.
Yes, all the time.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.